Plaintiff Damian Banks Alston says the defendant is his cousin, and although they were close, Damian never trusted him because he lies and steals. Damian claims he loaned the defendant money, but instead of repaying him, the defendant spent money on women and cigarettes. So he's suing. Defendant Christian Williams admits that he used to steal, but says he was young and dumb at the time and hanging around with the wrong people. Christian is countersuing because he claims Damian assaulted him.
Start with you.
Okay, I've been knowing Christian. We've been family since we were kids. Christian has always seemed like he was like a little brother to me. We always did things together, always hung out, had fun. But he just seemed like he just was always he steals, he lies, he's always doing something I just didn't trust him. So one moment he had a time where he stole from my grandfather.
Stole from your grandfather?
He stole from my grandfather.
How long ago and what age?
This was when we were children. I think it was this was 2006, so we had to been about 16, 17, 16 years old. And he stole from my grandfather.
Was he on dope or something? Was he?
No, he wasn't on dope. He was that's just something he was doing.
He liked klepto.
Yeah, klepto.
Stole from anybody else? Or a good klepto, you wouldn't know whether he stole from anybody else or not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, we don't know yet. Are you, though?
No, sir, I'm not.
It was just that one time at 16?
Yes, sir.
Buying you a bag of weed, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. I know. See? It wasn't no hard dope. Boy, just buying him a bag of weed. Shouldn't have took it from Granddad. Yeah. But Granddad should have gave him some of his. All right. Let's move on. Granddad smoked, though. Tell the truth.
Yeah, he did.
I believe they think I'll be briefing you. I'm getting all this information before the case. I swear I get zero information other than the actual things you all are suing for. I know nothing about these people until I see them and my gift of discernment kicks in. And I know that you smoke weed, Granddaddy smoked weed. That wasn't good what his daddy was doing, though. Great-grandfather, that was a little too far. But I would stop talking about people, daddy and granddaddy, but I was right.
Stay tuned. The case is suing his cousin, who claims Damian assaulted him.
Let me get some background from him on you all coming up together and the things you say he was doing wrong.
Okay.
Yes, sir, young man.
Your Honor, me and my cousin, that's my best friend. That's my brother. Just like he said, I did steal, but I was being young and I was hanging around the wrong people.
Yep.
But I'm not a thief, Your Honor. My life changed for me back in '05 when my mother got cancer, and it just made my life real hard for me, Your Honor. And my grades started to decline. I started cutting school.
How old were you?
I was 15. I was in private school, but she couldn't afford to pay for it no more, so I had to. That's when I transferred to city schools. That's when it got real tough, trying to fit in with everybody.
What city?
It's Baltimore City.
Baltimore?
Yes, sir.
One of the toughest towns. One of the toughest towns in the country. Yeah.
Sheesh. I managed to graduate. I did graduate. But I did get accepted to college, but I couldn't go because I didn't want to be too far away from my mother because she got even sicker. So I stayed and got a job, and I've been working little odds ends of job right now.
What did she say about you not going to college? While she
didn't really say she really couldn't say too much. She was happy that I stayed home.
Did you say you wanted to?
Yes.
And she didn't say go ahead, baby, and go?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean,
she's still with you?
I wanted to be here. I'm my only child, and I understand.
And she passed?
She beat it.
Oh, great.
She beat it.
Great.
Beat
okay.
Cancer. Yes, sir.
She became sick, and you felt you had to stay because you were only child.
Yes, sir.
And
it was nobody else going to be there for her. It's just me. It's always been me and her. So.
Okay. All right, and so things for you went bad, and how did you survive? And you just started taking different jobs?
I started taking little jobs.
That was when you were 20 or less. So what's been going on since age 20? I know your mom got sick when you were 15. And how long was her illness before she beat it?
She beat it when I turned 23. She was in remission when I turned 20.
Okay, and how old are you now?
I am 31.
All right, so why haven't you been able to go to college then, after she beat it, which you were still in your 20s?
Because I had 2 kids, sir, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I was taking care of them. That's why I was having low jobs and
Got it.
jobs.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Understandable that you would take care of moms. Sounds like you had children prematurely before you were able to afford them, that's all.
Right.
And that you should have gotten your skill level up a little more prior to having children so that you could afford them.
Yes, sir. But
that's what it just sounds like.
I did enroll in school recently for mortuary science and community college.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Now the loans. Tell me about the 900 in loan.
Okay, the first loan that I loaned Christian, I gave him $200 for car parts.
When?
This was August 15, 2020. It's on
For what?
page 1. For parts for a car.
And when was he to repay?
I didn't give him a specific time to pay it.
All right. And next?
And then the next one I gave him another payment, another loan for $400, and that was October 30th.
For what?
This was for the car also. His car was having major issues where he had to constantly keep putting money into it, but he needed help to get it fixed.
Okay.
So I gave him $400 for that on October 30th, 2020. The last payment that I gave Christian was a payment of $300 on November 16th, 2020. He ceased to still pay me back for the loans. He keeps saying he's going to pay it back, but all he does is he spend money on weed, drinks, and cigarettes. Women all in the house.
That's not true.
It's
Unless you rented that. Did you rent what you have on today?
No.
Yeah. He spend money on clothes. He's sharp.
Yeah, he spend money on clothes, but not the bill.
No, but don't just put it all on weed and cigarettes and
You're right.
liquor. The man got to look playable when he go to the club. I tell you right now, the way he look and the sharp as he is, your money is at the club. I can tell you that right now. I can tell you where your money is.
Stay tuned for today's Mathis moment, suing his cousin, who claims Damien assaulted him.
Go ahead.
Altogether, Your Honor, he loaned me $900, Your Honor. The reason why it was so much because I had to.
$101.
Why are he trying to tell us the reason it was so much? Because he had to use something
Because it was
for the club.
My maintenance. I had the maintenance on the car. Also, I had to get the car fixed.
That maintain your women too. How much?
That's free.
What's your tab a month? What's your ticket?
60.
You like a $200 man. $200 a month, all access.
Yes, sir.
All out.
I know I owe him. I know I still owe him $500. I paid him $400 already, Your Honor.
No, you didn't.
In cash.
Did he pay you anything?
I paid him $400 in cash, Your Honor. So far, it's sporadic of months.
You can't say you paid. You can't say you paying somebody back by offering to buy drinks or weed and cigarettes. You can't say that's paying me back because
Yes,
you never
it
said. He never. He never
That's
actually said.
exactly what it is.
He never actually said this is what.
If he
this is what
brought
it's
you
for.
weed, liquor, cigarettes, and some of his women, you owe him.
If you look at
Only
it like
problem
that, I
is
guess
you did not make an agreement on that exchange.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Right.
You can't now say it was repayment. You should have said it. Here, you want to tip her? You owe, this is $5 off my, or $10 off my tag.
Exactly.
You want to do this? You want some cigarettes? That's $10 off my tab. You want this? That's what you should have been saying. And since you didn't, it wasn't a repayment toward the loan. You have any evidence that you paid anything?
I don't. It was cash.
Give me
payments.
some scenario where you handed him money, because you're saying you gave it to him hand to hand.
Scenario.
You gave it to him hand to hand.
Hand to hand.
All right, give me one of them.
When he was down and out, when I just received a couple dollars from my
After you had borrowed the money.
after I borrowed the money.
He was down and out.
Yes.
You received.
I
some money.
received some money and I gave him the money and I kept.
Where'd you get the money from?
Oh, my father gave me some money. He loaned me some money. Really, my father loaned me some money.
That's why he
it
ain't
wasn't like that.
Y'all sitting up there smoking that weed together, and trying to bond late in life, because that's why he gave that 400. Yeah. Say his daddy gave you 400 of their weed money. The man gave up their weed money to pay you back. Who does that? Go ahead.
Okay. I think
he gave you nothing.
He gave me nothing.
And the scenario he said was his father gave it to him and he gave you. Where were y'all at again? Where were you all at when you gave it to him?
At home, and at his house. I moved in with him at his house. I gave him the cash in his hand at his house.
How long did you live there?
I still living there now.
How long? In the loan was 2 years ago.
Yes.
He moved in with me in November of 2021. Yeah, 2021.
And that was after he hadn't paid you
and that was
for
after
almost
he
a
hadn't
year.
paid me. Yes.
Because I was living out in my car.
You have any evidence where he acknowledges owing you?
Yes.
Oh,
I do actually. You can find that on page 4, 4 and 5. It's the whole conversation of speaking about the payments that he's supposed to pay me.
Tired of being around you every time we drink. You're negative every time. Everything having fun. You want to get violent. I don't fight any of my cuz. Now, where's the part where he talks about the loan, though? Or anything about paying you, I owe you, anything like that?
Okay, you can find
what
out
I
on
hear
page...
is violence. And this is, I suppose, regarding the assault that you claim he made against you. Go ahead, but first you tell me where I can see something where he acknowledges owing you.
Okay, this is on page 10. Down here, say, bro, I just a little bit more time. I'm going to have the money, cuz.
All right, sir. What did you mean by that? You
said
I'm about to read something where you asked for more time.
Yes, I was asking for more time to look for a job.
To do what? What he got to do with? What he got to profess that to him?
Because the way he was coming off and yelling at me and the fight that we got into, I promise to pay him back because it just made me feel so uncomfortable in the house living there. Now at this point,
Your Honor, we got in that fight because I was already irritated and frustrated about the money he did not pay me.
The verdict, when we return, claims Damien assaulted him.
Well, I'll let him tell me about the fight because you're countersuing him for that. Tell me.
The fight, we was sitting on the porch drinking, and at first the conversation was fine. We was fine. We was talking about some girl that we was chilling with, and all of a sudden, I don't know what, he was in his phone. He started texting, and I said something that might have irritated him, and he got real irate and we got in each other's face, and he banged me, and then he slammed me down on the ground. I wasn't fighting him back. I never fought him back. The whole time we was fighting, our hands was like this. I was yelling. Yes, I was yelling and belligerent.
How far from him? How far from him?
I was like this.
How many inches?
Yeah, like 2 inches.
Looks like less than.
Yeah, that's fighting.
How many?
2 inches. 2 inches away. That's fighting. And
you walked up to those 2 inches?
Yes. I have evidence on pit.
And his defense is, I'm sure, is that it was self-defense. He was feeling threatened by you being angry and coming within 2 inches of his face. Mm-hmm. That's a threat if you've never seen one, and a legitimate self-defense claim.
Yes.
Because what was he to do? Just let you come in his face and spit while you talk and yell at him and then worry about you now swinging on him? Exactly. Was he drunk and belligerent?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's drunk and belligerent. Pardon?
We
both was also drunk and belligerent.
I know how to handle mine, though. You get really aggressive and belligerent when something ain't going your way.
I read the conversation you all had, sir, about your violence and how you get drunk and violent, and he said he don't want to do that. He never wanted to do that. He stopped being around you to avoid being violent with you. He stopped being around you. His cousin, best running buddy, saying, I can't be with you no more because you're too violent. And then you're telling me you got, if nothing else, within 2 inches of his face yelling. That is certainly self-defense to get someone out of your face from yelling. So you said you didn't owe him. You said you paid him all the way off. Yet he provides me with text messages where you said you still owe, and you were talking about how you could pay him. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed.
You know I paid you that cash, boy. You know I paid you that cash.
No, you didn't pay that cash, man. If you would have paid it, it would have been already done, man. We wouldn't be going through this. I don't want to do this no more, man. I still love you, though.
And now, another Mathis moment.